taken our seats. Our guest of honor has arrived and is about to come through so that the proceedings of the day can start. Please rise. We will proceed to have the national anthem. National anthem. We shall now have an opening prayer from Chaplain Dr. Victor Wasara.
Let us bow our heads and I shall pray. To the Most High and Holy God, we give you all the honor and praise. We are gathered here for a purpose as we commemorate the National Real Estate Day, a historic event in the history of real estate in Zimbabwe. Father, as we gather here to celebrate this day, we have other practitioners that have come all over the country to come and witness the inauguration of this day. And Lord, may you be with us. May you bless every member, every guest, friends who are in our midst, our guests of honor. May you bless her. Father, we just want to thank you once more, for you are the most faithful God. And as we celebrate this day, help us to celebrate it in joy, happiness, and love. We thank you, our Father. Let it be a national day. Going forward, we shall remember this historic event. Lord, we give you all the praise on this day. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Dr. Victor Wasara. I shall now hand you over to our Director of Ceremonies, Mr. Luke Matimba, past Vice President of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe. Mr. Matimba.
Oh, thank you. I think we may take our seats. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. V. Mabiza. We welcome you, Madam. The President of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, Mr. A. Mileni, we welcome you. The Chairman of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, Mr. N. Kuipa. Thank you. For correctness, our invitation was to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, so I can't guide allow me now, our guest of honor, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Mrs. V. Mabiza. We welcome you, Madam. The President of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, Mr. Milani, the Chairman of the Estate Council of Zimbabwe, Mr. N. Kuipa, we welcome you. The Vice President of the Valuers Council, the Vice Chairman of the Valuers Council of Zimbabwe, Mr. S. Masuku, all members of the Real Estate Fraternity, corporates, and all invited guests, we welcome you to this momentous event underpinned on our theme, a new dawn for real estate in Zimbabwe. Indeed, this is a new dawn, the inaugural day where we thank the government of Zimbabwe for recognizing real estate as an important sector in the global economy of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm aware of a tight schedule for the day. Allow me to invite the President of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, to come front and gives us opening remarks. Please.
Thank you very much. I wish to welcome you all. I'm Mabiza. You've given me to refer to you as that. But before I do that, let me apologize for the manner with which I'm dressed. And all of us, we just did a walk around the golf course. So if you're sweaty and a bit untidy, please forgive us. The Permanent Secretary in the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Mrs. Virginia Mabiza, the Chairperson of the Estate Council of Zimbabwe, Mr. Nico Kuipa, and the past Vice Chair of the Valuers Council of Zimbabwe, Mr. Cesar Masuku. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to this very, very special day. It's made more special by the fact that we are supported by the government of Zimbabwe With your indulgence, ma'am, allow me to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency, the President of Zimbabwe, E.D. Mnangagwa, through the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, for recognizing this day. Now, this day is not a public holiday. It's a commemorative day that we held on the 15th of October every year, not just today. It's every year. And it's important to underline the fact that it is commemorative. We are here. We exist to deliver a service. And another important point is to nurture her and develop her. And there is no development that can happen in Zimbabwe without real estate. In economics textbooks, the first factor of production mentioned is usually land. Then it's followed by, the issues like entrepreneurship and so on, capital. But land is always the first thing. And, I was remarking on the 8th of this month, I saw some gumboot dancers along the Enterprise Road. And I said, what's going on? And as I passed, it said, International Day for the Egg. Zai, an egg. International Day for an egg, imagine. Then a week later, I heard somebody saying, International Day for those who love the taste of peanut butter. So that got me thinking to say, hold on, you commemorate an egg, which is very nice. You enjoy doughy and peanut butter, it's very nice. But you don't recognize real estate. That egg is laid in a fowl house that's on land. The peanuts are planted in land and they're processed in factories and sold in. Is for us to create awareness. And that's why we are here today. It's not for one person, it's for the entire nation. So with those few remarks, I wish to say it's important. I want to thank everyone for coming. Enjoy the day. It's a bit warm. The weather's on our side. So thank you once again. And I wish you all the best. And as I say, remember the day. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our president for REIZ. Another round. Oh, thank you. Is midst of COVID-19, so don't be troubled when you see some of the rituals and the protocols that we want to take here.
Yeah, thank you very much, MC. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The PEMSEC in the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Mrs. V. Mabiza, REIZ President, Alex Millen, EAC board members here present, the immediate Vice Chairman of the Valuers Council of Zimbabwe, Mr. Caesar Masuku, REIZ board members, and all our esteemed members here present. Once again, very welcome to this very important occasion. As the Interlude Council of Zimbabwe, we are extremely excited to participate in this National Real Estate Day, being the inaugural event that it is. We want to sincerely thank the government of Zimbabwe, for acknowledging the critical role that real estate plays in our economy by acknowledging and setting aside this particular day where every year we are now going to be commemorating this important day. So where do we fit in as realtors? For the benefit of the Permanent Secretary, the real estate industry is made up of many players, and on the regulatory side, we do have two bodies, which is the Estate Agents Council of Zimbabwe, a statutory body set up to register and regulate the practice of estate agents in Zimbabwe. And on the other hand, we also have the Valuers Council, which is responsible for the valuation of assets. In the past, all these functions used to fall under one body, the Estate Agents Council. But before all these two bodies came up, What used to be there is the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, set up in 1945. So over the years, when we joke with each other, Alex will say, don't forget that I'm your big brother. And when I also want to flex muscles, I'll then say, don't forget I'm the regulator. So that's exactly what we do with each other. So the REIZ is the professional arm of the industry responsible for the training aspect, whilst Valuers Council and EAC come in on the regulatory side. The regulation comes in very importantly in the sense that it was found that the intermediary role that estate agents play of bringing buyers and sellers, landlords and tenants together is very critical in the sense that it involves the handling of funds before they end up in the hands of the intended beneficiary. And in that process, it found that it was important to have this intermediary role played by people who are registered, who are trained, who are experienced, and these are the estate agents involved, most importantly, in property selling and property management. If I finish my speech, Temsek, without talking about the menace of bogus estate agents, I would have not done justice to my. This is a topical matter in our industry where we have quite a number of players now who masquerade as estate agents when they are not trained and registered to provide that kind of a service. And these people have actually brought havoc in the industry. Just a month ago, just to show how ruthless they can be, I think the Minister of State for Matabeleland province got defrauded of her funds to do with the purchase of a house. So you can imagine if these players can go as far as robbing a government minister, you can tell that the menace is real and ugly out there. As an industry, we have written to the ministry proposing certain amendments to the Act where people that are supposed to do this business should be restricted in terms of the number of people who should be doing this. And I'm aware, Madam, that from time to time we are interacting with you and the minister in that regard. So quite a lot of work is actually happening in that regard. When we met you earlier on, we were talking about public awareness, that it is a strategy on the part of the Estate Agents Council is set up in 2019. We want to increase our public awareness out there so that members of the public know that there are players, and not just everyone, who should handle estate agents' work. And more work is actually going to be happening in that regard in terms of public awareness. And without any doubt, we know when we come knocking on your door, you will give us an ear. So this is exactly where we are. We once again want to thank the government and the Minister of Justice for the critical role that you played, leading to the gazetting of this day as a national day. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the chime of this a round of applause again. Thank you. Thank you. Our guest of honor, there is a renowned real estate investor by the name Louis Glickman. He is saying that REIZ, the best investment on earth is earth itself. So we don't need to overemphasize it. At this moment, allow me to invite the immediate There is a few collections here. In the interest of our time, we are going to have a music interlude as we set our podium here. A few seconds, a music interlude. Yes, sir. Thank you, thank you. DJ, our DJ, oh, yes, it's our madam in our midst. We have gentlemen out there. They are school kids from Prince Edward, one of our schools here in Zimbabwe. So this melodious music is being generated by those young persons there. We may give them a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Our guest of honor, thank you once again. We wanted to like fast track the program, but he said, no, MC, allow the immediate past vice chairperson of the Valuers Council. I may not leave this place without hearing his remarks. So, Mr. Masuku, Caesar, may you come up front and give us your remarks. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome Mrs. Mabiza, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, the President of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, Ms. Alexander Milan, the Chairman of the Intelligence Council, Mr. Nico Kuipa. I'd like to recognize the two registrars of our regulatory bodies, Mr. Alex Chidindi, the Registrar of the Intelligence Council, as well as Mr. Lazarus Chimba, the Registrar of the Valuers Council. I would also like to recognize the Intelligence Council board members, as well as the REIZ board members, as well as fellow valuers in the Valuers Council. As the Valuers Council, we're very excited on this occasion of the launch of the National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe. We stand in solidarity with the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, who have been very instrumental in coming up with this innovation. Like the President did indicate, we thought there was something amiss in that there are so many pressure groups who have been accorded days, like it mentioned the Egg Day, and so forth and so forth. So as the real estate industry, we feel we are a grade far much higher and we need appropriate recognition. Real estate is very critical in the economic environment of our country. There is no one who didn't go through an inch of real estate today. As you come here, you pass through real estate. Yesterday, you slept in an element of real estate. So therefore, we feel as realtors, we need to thank you, Madam, for, as part of the government, for granting us this status that is having a National Real Estate Day. I've got a prepared speech. It's very short. My speech is centered on 3 points, showing, number one, showing the unity that exists between the institutions of higher learning in the real estate of Zimbabwe. As the former vice chairman of the Valuers Council to indicate the close cooperation that exists between the Valuers Council and the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, as well as to highlight some areas of collaboration between the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, the Estate Agents Council, as well as other institutions of higher learning. Those areas I would like to cover in brief as well. For some time in the early 1980s, the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe was the major institution offering courses in real estate management, agency, and valuation. Many of the practitioners were trained abroad, notably in the United Kingdom, as well as in other Commonwealth countries like Australia, etc. With the onset of independence in 1980, the government started training in polytechnical colleges. Those colleges were not offering degree programs though, but about 4 or 5 years ago, we do have many universities now offering courses in real estate management. We have got the University of Zimbabwe, which launched the real estate honors degree. We've got Lupane University. We've got the National University of Science and Technology in Bulawayo, as well as the Great Zimbabwe University and other universities as well. There is close cooperation with the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe amongst all the participants. Mainly, as I stated earlier in our briefing, that they provide training, professional training of all the real estate practitioners. Then the regulators would, like as the Valuers Council, we register, we monitor the conduct of valuers in the industry. The majority of the valuers who are here obtained their training from the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe. And a few, as I stated before, they've got their training from abroad. The Valuers Council also monitors the courses being offered by the universities and other colleges and makes suggestions on areas of improvement. The need for continuing education is urgent to cope with the ever-changing environment. Both the Estate Agents Act and the Valuers Act are regulatory bodies covering different aspects of the practice of estate management. The Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe remains the core training institution in the country, with collaboration between the three bodies being very, very close. The key stakeholders in the real estate sector include government ministries, commerce and industry, agriculture, the legal fraternity, the construction industry, the public, and other stakeholders. We work together to achieve the country's development goals. Lastly, the Valuers Council, together with the institution in the training profession, like the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, all need to cooperate to produce the professional who positively contributes to curb corruption, as the area is vulnerable to bogus practitioners. The chairman of the Estate Agents Council said, there is no speech complete without mentioning the proliferation of bogus valuers. Like the estate agents, in valuation, we also face the scourge of bogus valuers. We need to come up with means and ways of how to eradicate the proliferation of bogus valuers. I'm sure through the ministry and our other brothers, we'll be knocking on your door to seek cooperation in addressing this scourge. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you would agree with me that the immediate past vice chairperson of the Values Council has unpacked the whole spectrum of the real estate. May we give him a round of applause. Thank you. At this juncture, I would want to call upon the Chief Director in the Ministry of Justice, Mr. Godzi, to give us introductions of our guest of honor.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. A very good morning to you. Yes, our guest of honor, please, for the sake of time, allow me to write on the existing protocols. So I will say all protocols observed. Indeed, it is my profound joy to introduce to you our guest of honor at this very important day. Our guest of honor is a lawyer by profession. She served government all her career, firstly as a public prosecutor and then legal counsel in the Attorney General's office up to the level of director. She is also not a stranger to constitutional issues, having served with the coming into effect of the 2013 Constitution. She took charge of the implementation of the Constitution when she was appointed the Secretary for the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Some of you may not be aware that she was the first female permanent secretary for the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. I'm sure we can clap hands for her. Thank you. And she has also been very active in the alignment of legislation to the Constitution. And she is also not a stranger to property rights. And I must say that it is fitting for her to be launching at this important day. Our guest of honor has a great passion for property rights. She has been instrumental in the digitalization of the company's deeds and intellectual property department. I'm sure you are all aware of the programs that we are undertaking at that department. She is also providing effective and sound leadership in the implementation of programs that pertains to registration of property. She is also promoting ease of doing business through restructuring and automation of registration processes. You may also be aware that the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs has commenced the digitalization of the proprietary documents. Further, ladies and gentlemen, the guest of honor is spearheading the promotion of public awareness of property rights, and I'm sure Alexander will work as a team when it comes to the promotion of proprietary rights. It is thus my profound pleasure to introduce to you the Secretary for Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Mrs. Virginia Mabisa. Madam, I therefore kindly invite you to take the podium. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and very good morning, everyone. Yes, we may be seated. We may be seated. Yes, let me recognize the president of the Real Institute of Zimbabwe, Mr. A. Milan, the chairperson of the Estate Agents Council, Mr. N. Kuyipa, President of the Zimbabwe Construction Industry Association, Engineer C. Matope, members of the Real Estate Institute Board, members of the Estate Agents Council Board, senior government officials, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, very good morning to you. Let me say I am extremely humbled to be standing here in front of you on this very, very important day, not only to your sector, but to our nation as a whole. Before I go to my prepared speech, I just want to echo the words of the previous speakers when they have highlighted the importance of real estate. I've always thought to myself, this is a very important sector in the sense that whatever perception you have about your country, be it as a citizen or as an outsider, it is dwelling within this industry. You are the ones that are responsible for what Zimbabwe is all about. Whether you like it or not, the first perception about a place, a country, whatever organization, or it's about the buildings. Zimbabwe yakanaka ere kana kuti yakashata. You've heard and protects property rights. The government was excited when the Real Estate Institute in Zimbabwe, with the endorsement of the Council for Estate Agents, petitioned for the establishment of this day. I know that most of you have been seeing me advocating for incorporeal rights or intellectual property rights, but today it's my opportunity to also advance the corporate real rights in real estate. In fact, I feel as if my mandate has been extended, but it has always been the case, but I have not even been thinking about it. Can you imagine if I don't think about it? How about the ordinary person? Hence, awareness is very important that we embark on awareness programs so that every one of us becomes conscious of the importance of real estate. Yes, indeed, the importance of real estate is recognized in the Constitution of Zimbabwe as a right to property. In particular, if we go to section 71, subsection 2 of our Constitution, it provides that every person has the right in any part of Zimbabwe to acquire, hold, occupy, use, transfer, hypothecate, lease, or dispose of all forms of property, either individually or in association with others. That's our Constitution, and that's how much it recognizes some of these rights. And moreover, the Constitution obliges the government to take measures to ensure the full enjoyment of this right for all those who are interested in acquiring real estate in Zimbabwe. Furthermore, our Constitution also recognizes the right to have adequate housing that is secure, peaceful, and dignified as a fundamental right for every citizen. So you can see clearly that when we talk of secure houses, peaceful and dignified, these sound like legal rights, but how do they come about? They only come about by virtue of the construction, the structures that you people design, and hence this is very important. Yes. Yes, it is tried that most productions are facilitated through real estate, and he who controls real estate controls the mode of production. Ladies and gentlemen, in recognition of the importance of real estate, the government of Zimbabwe has deliberately crafted measures that will support the sector's growth. We are currently in the National Development Strategy. I'm sure we are all aware, or you have all heard about NDS1, that is the National Development Strategy 1, which currently the government is using as a national blueprint for our economic growth. And the vision is towards a prosperous and empowered upper middle income society by 2030. And this deliberately acknowledges the need to improve infrastructure and investment, even in roads as well as housing. It also recognizes that efficient infrastructure delivery is key in the realization of national priorities and overall socio-economic development. A key deliverable in this regard is to restore basic infrastructure services such as housing. There is a huge housing backlog and the inadequacies of attendant infrastructure, which government through the NDS1 prioritize citizens' access to affordable and quality settlements, both in urban and rural settlements. The focus in this regard is on the construction of new housing units and upgrading of informal settlements equipped with the necessary basic and social services, infrastructures, and amenities in order to improve the quality of life for our people, which dovetails with Vision 2030 as espoused by His Excellency, the President, in 2018, and also an enabler of Sustainable Development Goal 11, which advocates for sustainable cities and communities. I'm sure we are aware of what we call the SDGs. I don't want to believe it's only a government talk. Yes. So among the 7 targets of SDG 11, you will notice that there should be safe and affordable housing, affordable and sustainable transport systems, inclusive and sustainable urbanization, reduction of the environmental impacts of cities, provision for access to safe and inclusive green and public spaces. So you see, even if the government is at the forefront of pushing for these SDGs, however, government alone, without the inclusion of private sector, may not be able to achieve this. Hence, it is very important that we continue to work together in order to attain the vision. Again, you may be aware that the key objectives of the National Real Estate Day commemorations, as I have been briefed, are to create awareness and appreciation for the significance and relevance of the real estate as a key contributor to the socio-economic development of Zimbabwe. Also to identify and interrogate challenges impacting the real estate sector matters, to propose and or recommend suitable legislation which promotes the growth of the real estate sector in Zimbabwe. There's so many of them, including to craft and implement real estate development strategies which stimulate sustainable economic growth, to provide a consultative platform for the development of innovation and sustainable building designs and building maintenance programs, to explore and recommend suitable funding models for real estate development, to promote the development of sustainable real estate tourism projects in Zimbabwe, to support government initiatives aimed at achieving continued economic growth, and to market the real estate market as a viable investment destination. So clearly, if you look at all these objectives that I've just pronounced, each and every one of us and all stakeholders to this sector, we have a role to play in order for us to attain our final objective. Ladies and gentlemen, the commemorations will be rolled out to all provinces in the country. This is what I've been told by those that are leading in the sector. And I've also been reliably informed that the commemorations will include events such as hosting seminars and workshops on real estate, live debates and art and essay competitions at primary and secondary schools, colleges, and universities. I'm also told there will be a special train ride to specific locations where discussions will be conducted with the local populace, as well as lectures in real estate during the train ride. It's all about awareness. Furthermore, sporting tournaments, which include various sporting activities, will be held. And the commemoration will also serve as a platform for identifying critical areas of housing needs and funding for the same. I've also been assured that at each year, one real estate project will be launched. And if that is going to happen, I tell you, it's going to impact in a big way to our economy and to our country as a whole. I'm also told that provincial road shows will be conducted to bring awareness to all citizens, as well as practical demonstrations on building repairs and maintenance and safety. And talking of building repairs, I think it's also one of the very, very important projects which I recommend in my personal capacity to this sector to perhaps prioritize. Some people say in Zimbabwe we do not have a culture of repairing our infrastructure. We just let our infrastructure dilapidate and until they are totally useless. So I think it is upon ourselves and upon this sector to also conscientize the property owners to replenish, to renovate, and to make efforts to make sure that the old buildings are either demolished and replaced or renovated so that we don't deface our beautiful country, so that we maintain our beautiful faces, Zimbabwe. Those are my personal recommendations. And I'm hoping that following the launch of this important day, we shall see a lot of changes. We shall see a new face of Zimbabwe that is born out of these deliberate efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Zimbabwe is aware that the real estate sector has experienced challenges which include the menace of the so-called bogus estate agents. I believe they are also called land barons. Yes, as a statistic, they are estimated to be taking approximately 60% of your business from the market. So I'm sure the feeling from the sector is the government is letting us down. Honestly, as government, we are working tirelessly to bring to book these so-called land barons. I'm sure you are aware of Commission of Inquiry, which we have been having to inquire into the sale of urban state land. But amongst some of our terms of references, it was not only confined to urban state land. We, in the process, also looked at other land which was affected by these so-called land barons. Our intention is to have the land barons prosecuted. You know, the long arm of the law is very long, but eventually it catches up with you. So maybe for now you may think there are so many land barons who have been let loose and nothing is happening. I assure you, we are looking into the issues to do with land barons through our institutions that are mandated to combat such crime. So these are criminals and they should be brought to book. We also appreciate your cooperation in letting us know some of the activities of some of the land barons who may not have been caught through our audit. We can get a lot of information from this sector to also help to clean up the sector so that those that are entitled, those that are legally in the sector should also benefit without the chunk of 60% going to illegal operators is undesirable, and we call upon you to also assist us to bring them to book. So that's it about land barons, and we as government, we also bemoan their activities as they deprive us of the tax that is paid by those that who operate legally. So we are together in the fight against the bogus estate agents, the land barons, and all the criminals that operate within your sector and in any other sectors. And furthermore, your sector requires capital injection, which is greatly supported by mortgages and other fiscal incentives, which should be an area that government should also be of assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, despite these challenges, I believe that there are great opportunities for investors in this sector. There is a great potential for real estate tourism in some of our tourist attraction areas, Kariba, Victoria Falls, just to mention a few, but I hope you are alive to some of these opportunities that you can also utilize. Real estate tourism is popular in places like, we have had people going to Dubai. We like going to other people's countries just to see things that we can also do. Let us also attract tourists to come and witness real estate tourism in Zimbabwe. I'm sure this is the beginning, and I'm sure we are on the right road to doing those things. I've seen a lot of tourists flocking to Dubai, France, just to see the Eiffel Tower. But I know we have much more capacity to build things that are better than the Eiffel Tower, things that can benefit everyone. I'm sure tourists will start to flock to see architectural marvels if we package our real estate sector strategically. Therefore, there is need to encourage government and the private sector collaboration in order to develop the sector so that it continues to contribute to the economy in a meaningful way. In conclusion, it is my honor and privilege to be standing here today to launch the National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe on this 15th day of October in the year of our Lord 2021. I'm humbled. Thank you very much.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, once again, may we give our guests of honor a thunderous round of applause. Madam, we are indebted to your pledges, repairs and maintenances, ladies and gentlemen, our barons, the bogus ones. I think now we are on a good platform. Madam, at this moment in time, at moment, we talk of ribbons. We have us here, Mr. Mileni, Mr. Kuipa, Mr. Masuku. You may proceed with cutting the ribbon. The Secretary of REIZ, she's holding the scissor. Could you hand over that to the guest of honor?
May I just also say, while she's cutting the ribbon, we are celebrating the National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe, but we are also cognizant of the fact that this month is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, hence the pink ribbon.
Thank you very much.
A thunderous round of applause. A thunderous round of applause. Let me allow our guest of honor to give the official announcement about this launch.
Thank you very much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to launch the National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe on this 15th day of October 2021. So the day is officially launched.
Realtors there, realtors, may you raise your hands up, realtors there, property developers there, property maintenance managers there. May we give another thunderous round of applause. The day is officially declared our guest of honor. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you. We are proceeding to the photo session. The photo session, I would want to call upon Mr. Milini, Mr. Kuipa, Mr. Masuku, representing the three organs. Our registrars, Valuers Council, REIZ, and EAC, be ready. Be ready. Our photographers, it's now the digital world. Kavara Kavara. Ngati Tore Tone, Al Jazeera. Our photo college there. Yeah, we are in the midst of COVID-19. I was about to break one of those. Okay, I stand guided. You may proceed with your college. Thank you. May we have the respective registrars to also join in? The respective, whoever is the top people, the secretariat of the three organs. Mr. Chidindi, where are you? Madam, you are here. Oh. With even if your good smiles are somehow hidden there, try to, your forehead should do, they will betray you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Are we done? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our guest of honor, thank you. You have allowed us to abuse you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I was talking to our guest of honor. In my own words, hanzi pano pari kuzipa ngatimbozuchirira maoko izvozvo pachizipa sekuzipa kwakuri kuita zvikanzi handikabudi izvezvi ndinamboona ndichine mamwe maminutes ndikanzi chimboinda ine program. So at this moment in time, madam, we have some synergies, regional and international like-minded bodies. And we have the International Valuer Standard Council, who have sent their speech. I will call upon the chairman of publicity for REIZ, Madam Jolene Murekachiro, to read the speech for the International Valuers Standard Council. Madam Murekachiro, may we give a round of applause to come up front.
Thank you so much. Our guest of honor in the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Vima Biza, read to you the message, the congratulatory message from the International Valuer Standards Committee. I'll read. On the occasion of National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe, the International Valuation Standards Council IVSC extends its best wishes and solidarity to the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, REIZ, and its members. Real estate is one of the most important sectors in any economy. Its potential to drive economic and market progress and to underpin societal development is without doubt. In the months and years ahead, real estate will need to play a defining role as the world seeks to mitigate the devastating impacts of climate change and as we adjust to a new normal in a post-pandemic world. The potential of the real estate sector to affect positive change in Zimbabwe and beyond is reliant upon strong professionalism, standards, and integrity. Without these things, public trust is undermined. I commend the work that REIZ is doing to build these professional structures and to empower the sector to act in the International Valuation Standards, that is IVS in Zimbabwe. REIZ is also demonstrating a commitment to international best practice. Congratulations to you and your members. I hope you celebrate the day with great pride. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was the message from the Chief Executive of the International Valuation Standards Committee, Nicholas Talbot. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this speech was coming from the IVSC, headquartered in the UK. So that speech is from UK. May we give another round of applause on behalf of the President. Thank you, Your Highness. We are in the IT and digital world. We are going to get another solidarity from one of our international partners, Castor. At this moment in time, Madam, allow me, we will be getting that speech. Our IT guys, 1, 2, 3, we are live.
Hosted by the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe and the Survey Institute of Zimbabwe, was entitled Sustainable Development, Counting the Cost, Maximising the Value. It is interesting how relevant that title remains today, but perhaps with a slightly different interpretation of cost, related more towards the environment than the financial cost. Deforestation, overuse of fossil fuels, pollution of seas and rivers, all have a cost on the environment, most of which the world has experienced in recent years through rising sea levels, floods, forest fires, typhoons and hurricanes. In respect to the National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe, I understand the key objective is to create awareness and appreciation for the significance and relevance of real estate as a key contributor to the socio-economic development of Zimbabwe. As has been said many times before, we can produce manufactured products, but we cannot manufacture more land. without ecological consequences. Therefore, real estate management is an essential part of any country's efforts to manage their fundamental resource. During my long association with Castle, I've seen many changes, some beneficial to Castle and some which have caused serious problems. Cuts in funding by the Commonwealth Foundation in 2013 presented the greatest difficulty and forced us to curtail our activities. Despite this, we have managed to hold Castle together to carry out its normal business, which has included the very successful Africa series of conferences, which started in Ghana in 2015, followed by Nigeria in 2016, Tanzania in 2017, and Zambia in 2018. We were planning further conferences in Zimbabwe and Malawi when the pandemic struck. When I became Secretary General of Castle in 2013, one of the first things that I did was to set up a task force, including surveyors in professional practice, Castle officers and academics who have been a great source of ideas and advice for which I am extremely appreciative. Dr. Patrick Manu, who is the academic conference organiser and chairman of the reviewing committee, has carried out a sterling job in reviewing the many papers for the workshops that form the basis of Castle conferences. The constraints on Castle finances may have curtailed our activities, but there is still a lot of optimism for the future, and we have received requests from Malaysia, Jamaica and Sri Lanka to collaborate in Castle events over the next year or so. We see participation and collaboration as a significant part of our future activities, and we try to ensure that all our activities are geared towards supporting the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Many of the early aims and objectives of Castle have been achieved in education and in the transfer of technology. Castle, in collaboration with the University of the West of England and other universities involved in the built environment, is evolving more towards the promotion of research activities and higher degrees, significantly in real estate management. Many surveyors in private practice and in academia in developing countries are now finding that it is a requirement to have a higher degree to progress in their chosen field, and many universities are offering opportunities for modular courses, which are more affordable and can be undertaken over a period of time, leading to a higher qualification. As an example, the University of the West of England is offering a suite of postgraduate level modules as continuing professional development, accredited by the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, which will run from January 2022. The modules offer practical application alongside theoretical underpinning to help develop and broaden knowledge. Modules are delivered in two modes, on campus or as distance learning over a 10-week period. With access to learning materials via the online learning platform, these modules can be accumulated towards a higher degree. Alan and I have many happy memories of our visit to Zimbabwe in August 1995 and the tours that we undertook to Hwange Game Reserve, Victoria Falls and to Kariba, from where we flew in a small plane over a herd of elephants at a water tank during a drought. Arriving back in Harare just as the sun was going down, an unforgettable experience. Members of the Management Board of Castle greatly appreciate the continued support of members of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe. On behalf of the Castle President, Mr. Jose Ajan Lakoko, and members of the Castle Management Board and Task Force, I send our very best wishes for the National Real Estate Day in Zimbabwe on Friday, 15th of October 2021. Thank you very much.
The three institutions, we are equally engaging with also national and regional organizations. So this was the Commonwealth Association of Surveying and Land Economics. That was the solidarity message. At this moment, I would allow me to invite the Vice President of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, Mr. Brian Kashon to come up and give us closing remarks. Obviously, vote of thanks would be the icing on the cake, Mr. Kashon. A round of applause for him.
Thank you, Director of Ceremony. The Chairperson of the Estate Agents Council, the President of REIZ, the Acting Vice President of the Valuers Council, and our guest of honor. I am humbled. This, if it's not moving you, you don't have any emotions at all. The Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, in collaboration with the regulators, went to the government, and in no less than 6 months, there was a response which really shows the importance of this day in our lives. We need to relook at what we've been doing as the real estate fraternity. We need inclusion of all the stakeholders that we can identify with all COVID protocols observed, so that we make sure going forward what the PEPSEC said are our deliverables. We have to put them in the boxes and we tick. Where we are not going to be successful, we should have reasons, and we should come to your door and say, we have failed because of A, B, C, and D. And I think with the drive that you have been initiating, we are definitely going to get a lot of assistance from the government arms in order for us to then take the issue further. I understand from my previous engagements that the PAAB is now changing the accounting standards from cash to accrual. So this means more business for all of us. The cake is too big. Let us work in tandem with everyone. We might have our flaws here and there, but let's respectfully engage each other. The government has extended an arm to us. Let us do that as well. On that note, I would now like to give a vote of thanks to make sure that there's an icing on the cake. First and foremost, to the Most High, who made sure that he diverted the clouds from Harare to elsewhere. And this day has been very much of a very bright day. Like we call ourselves, Harare is the sunshine city of Africa. So we would like to thank the Most High for this momentous day that we have managed to do successfully without any glitches. Secondly, I would like to thank the PEMSEC, Madam, for coming through. I know there are a lot of engagements, but you chose us. And can you do this favor, even if it means doing it over and over and over again? We will be so much happy to be associated with you. I would like to thank you, and then can we have a round of applause again? I also would like to thank the chairperson of the Estate Agents Council and the acting vice president of the Valuers Council of Zimbabwe, who are the regulators. We are a professional body which falls under these two regulators, and they are jeweled the video from the drone as soon as possible. That one will show the impact to the people who missed out. Thank you so much. And last but not least, I would like to thank the Country Club for allowing us to host this event. I think we have had a good day, and I would like to say the Lord made this day to ensure that we have an impact in our life. I thank you.
Mr. Sean, I'm marveled by your humility. You have just nailed it on the head. Ladies and gentlemen, may we give Mr. Kashon a round of applause again. Madam, kuchikaranga tinoti ukama egasha uzadziswa nekudya. At this moment in time, we have just a small token of appreciation. Ndiko kudya kwacho matitsika kwatingo akanuka toko katari chiti. At this moment in time, allow me to invite once again the chairperson of the Publicity and External Affairs of the Institute of the Real Estate Institute of Zimbabwe, Madam Joylene Murekachiro, to come up front. Madam, with your usual, allow me once again to invite you front. Yeah, that envelope there, or the bag, what you may call it, and its color, it's intended to our guest of honor, open this when you are home. Yeah, there's a small token of appreciation, a small surprise for you. Thank you so much. I think this is the moment the director of ceremony should also seize to have a photo college with our guest of honor. Allow me to abuse this chance. That's my last chance. Okay, thank you. I am directed to direct you all that official proceedings, I think we have now come to the end. But however, we have a luncheon here, kula chaiko. Asi takamirira luncheon yedu. Wana Mr. Millen vachiona kuti vodini tachikumbirisa ameno kuti imewa na DJ. I think today I'm going to exhibit my dancing skills as a realtor. Each one of you, Madam Lishboa, this is the only chance you can have a ballroom dance with me. Ndio mai vangu avo. Saka nguva ino tinokumbira kuti tichange tichida kunzwa kuti. Oh, yes. Madam, makutoksimuka kuenda. Tine vanhu vane zvipo kupa kunofura kugamushira handi. Nasi tambobva muSifi Waters, tikaenda muRoson itsi, tikaenda muLishibua chakadaro, tikaenda muCrusader, ndomirira shuwa vane kumwe kwaroda kumanya. Saka regreva escortiwe zvakanaka. Tisiyo kakambo vafambe zvakanaka. Thank you. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm directed kuti vaone kuti maiswa mazondo, maiswa sadza munga rezvione chinyi. Saka iye zvino vana keche hatidi kuita dai holy what kana yakurira vana vachimba vakuru vedu nechinyi. Tine 10 minutes of exhibiting our dancing skills. So please, Varipas, DJ. Inzwa Prince Edward vakomana vafana vanoimbavo. Uyai titambe vakomana. Uyai nemakambani enyu. Vana Tony uyai tione. Vana Crusader. Roson. Uyai tione kuti munotamba sei. Kukwira gomo makata. Roson. We are going with your bright colors there. Madiro. New kid on the block. Property check. Yes, Sif, where are you? Mana Rosso, Chibono Tembe. NBS. We have no Peter Tony. Yeah.